You completed your brainstorming, you selected an idea. So let's make that into a solution. So we're going to be talking about prototyping and iteration through this course. A prototype is a cheap, easy way to see if your idea is actually going to work. You want this to be super fast. You don't want to take forever to create this prototype. You want to be able to see it, touch it, interact with it. You want to see, is this actually going to work or not? And then you want to gather feedback. So the people that maybe you interviewed, you provide them with your prototype and say, what do you think? Talk them through it, get their feedback. And then the goal is to fail fast so you can fix those mistakes early on. No one wants to have a solution that fails once you implement it. So doing the failing fast is really important so that you're not spending a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of energy and effort on something that's not going to work. And so that's what the power of a prototype is. There are so many different ways to create a prototype. It could be physical. So you literally build it with like duct tape and cardboard. It could be a digital piece. So it still could be kind of a picture of an app, for example, and what that app does. And it can be an experience. You can be walking that person through the steps of what that experience looks like. So some examples, you can use, like I said, use cheap material like cardboard, rubber bands. If you have a 3D printer, that works really well when you're kind of building a product. If you are doing more of like a process or a policy or something like that, you can just kind of create a document. It could be a project plan, spreadsheet, a Word doc. Literally, you can write something on a piece of paper and that can be your prototype. You also can create kind of a picture. So you can draw it, you can use graphics. If it's an experience, you can actually do a storyboard. So you can kind of show each step of that experience through a storyboard. There's some really amazing technology out there that you can use to do graphics and storyboarding. My favorite is canva.com. So I would, encourage you using something like that because it makes it even easier. There you have a storyboard and then you're just tweaking it. So how to create a prototype. So first you want to make sure you have the supplies. I would probably just take an hour to create this prototype. While you're creating it, you always want to have in your head the challenge in your audience. Once you have it, you want to name that prototype, and then you want to talk about kind of what it does. So paint that picture. When and where will it be used? How will it be used? So you really understand how you're going to incorporate that prototype potentially as a solution. And then you want to share the prototype. I would try to share it with 1 or 2, maybe 3 people, let them play with it, let them ask questions, find out, what they think about the prototype so that you can really decide if this is going to work or if you need to tweak it or scrap it. And then, understand the learnings from that. What did you learn about the prototype, about your audience, about the challenge by creating this prototype and sharing it with them? And then what are your next steps? Do you need to start from scratch? Do you just need to tweak it? Do you want to use a different idea based off the feedback instead of the idea you did and just start from the prototype? And all of that is really kind of part of iteration. So iteration is really, improving that solution, being willing to tweak, enhance, and change it. You don't want your solution to be stuck and you can't refine it or make it a better solution. So there are some steps when you're thinking about iteration. So let's go over those. You always want feedback. I would be getting feedback throughout the whole process. And then you want to prioritize that feedback. What do you want to use that feedback for? You might have 5 different people and all of them are saying the same thing. And so that might be what you want to prioritize with changing your prototype. And then if you're needing to, you go back to ideation and come up with new ideas. Or maybe you come up with, you might do ideation to improve the solution that you picked. So it might not be going completely back to scratch, but it might be like, hey, I really need to figure out how to tweak this based off the feedback I got. So let's come together again and let's come up with some ideas. And then you want to do the prototype again. So either tweaking it, completely doing a brand new prototype, but that is what you want to do until you feel like, yes, this is absolutely the solution that we should be moving forward with. So now let's talk about homework. So what I would like for you to do is create your prototype, get feedback from 1 or 2 people, go through the iteration template, and then update your prototype and add your notes from the iteration template as well as the final solution to the comments. Now that you have the solution that you want to move forward with, let's start learning how to pitch that solution so you can get a yes in implementing it.